You're listening to a DM podcast.
We would like to acknowledge and give thanks to the traditional owners of the land we record this podcast on, the Yagara and Turrbal people,
and their continued connection to the land and waterways on which we meet.
Hello and welcome to Sportish, where we look at life through the lens of sport. I am Georgie Trickett.
And I'm Libby Trickett.
And Lisbeth, we're going to go back to the athletics that happened.
Yes.
I feel like it was in September in Tokyo. There were so many incredible performances. There was a really interesting issue that happened with the discus being held in the rain and people nearly concussing themselves with discus plates, and poor old Matt Denny coming fourth in that scenario, which broke my heart. But there was one athlete in particular who we wanted to talk about today. We haven't had a chance to yet.
Armand Duplantis is a Swedish pole vaulter, and he has just once again broken the world record for pole vaulting. This was his 14th time in his career since February 2020, and it's his fourth time this year. Look, you might go, I mean, that's incredible statistics. But what is even cooler about him is that he has exclusively broken the world record by 1 centimetre at a time.
So this is quite unique to, I guess, these jumping sports where you can set
literally
the bar. Yeah. Literally, you set the bar as to what your height needs to be. So I think it's the same in high jump as well, where you determine what you're going to go for when you get to that sort of
and this is
end.
the thing. So, with high jump, with pole vault, you can start at whatever level. So if people are jumping at 5 meters 90, that's where they can start. But I mean, it's insane.
Crazy.
Insane. But, Armand doesn't have to get in there and jump that height. He can come in wherever he wants to come in. And then, yes, once they get to sort of the last few people, he can decide what level that he goes to. And this is what is so cool about what he's doing, is that he has decided to go 1 centimetre at a time. And I wonder if he was intentional about that from the very beginning, or whether it's just kind of happened that way and he's just kind of gone with it. But the thing is that every time he breaks a world record, he gets $100,000 US in prize money.
I mean, I'm going to call it. I think it's intentional. I think he's like, how do we make the most money out of this situation?
And yes, Mr. Duplantis, I bloody love it. And what is so cool is, there's something really, I guess, fun and cool about breaking the world record by a lot, which one would argue in February 2020 that maybe he could have jumped 6 meters 30 back then. Because you see him, you see the height that he gets over the bar, and you go, oh, of course he can go higher.
It's like this much clearance.
There's so much clearance. So it barely looks like he would be close to touching it. You just wonder at what level, he can get to. But what an incredible strategy and foresight of not just Armand, but also his team, obviously, and his coaching and all of the managers involved. But what a cool idea. And how exciting for the crowd as well.
As an athlete, how do you find that? Because if it were you, would your competitive instinct not take over, and would you not just want to jump the highest you could possibly jump?
Well, I've been reflecting on that a little bit. I was never the type of athlete that could destroy a world record, right? So I think there's a different perspective. You're just grateful. You're so grateful that you could break a world record. That is just so incredible. I don't care if it's by 0.01 of a second or by a whole second. If I could break it, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But it seems like Armand Duplantis is such an exceptional athlete. He's such an outlier that he has the ability to have fun with it and to kind of play in that space and to kind of be like, I'm just going to put it up by a centimetre, and I know almost guaranteed that I'm more than capable of doing that jump. And I just think that is such a cool space to be in, but also an incredible awareness of his ability and what he's capable of. And I bloody love everything about it.
Do you think that level of control and that level, but I say control, I don't know actually that that's the right word, but do you think the fact that he is having so much fun with it, that he's playing with it, do you think that actually helps him have the confidence to achieve it?
No doubt. No doubt. And also, it's not about winning, which is ironic because, of course, he's going to win because he's breaking world records. But that's not the thing that he's trying to control.
You don't think?
Well, no, because he's such an outlier, right? Like, he knows that if he jumps, his best, he's going to win. He doesn't have to control that. Whereas, an athlete like myself or 99% of other athletes, like, again, you have to do what you can do and do what you control and race your race. But there is an element of luck on the day, as there is with him. But it's just you're able to play with it a lot more. And I just love that he has that space and that almost creativity to kind of keep pushing those boundaries.
Actually, that's so interesting. I've heard other athletes talk about one of the things that excites them most about their sport is that being creative and that and what they can do, with their stroke or with their bodies in their sport, and that excites them. And I think it's also interesting as well, his interactions with the crowd, because pole vault is such a vibe at an athletics track, like long jump as well, where, they're feeding off the crowd, they're feeding into the crowd. And it's almost, when you watch him, it's almost like a showman. It's something almost circus-like in how he's interacting with the crowd and using the crowd and working with the crowd to jump those ridiculous heights.
It's like that collective effervescence, right? Like you're really being buoyed by that energy. And I wonder at what point for him, because surely at some point it becomes almost a pressure, right? Like he's so far below maybe what his maximum
capacity
could be.
Is, yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder if at some point when he knows he's getting to that level, if that then starts to become pressure for him. I hope that it's not. I hope it continues to be play and fun and challenging, and he's able to kind of let go of perceived pressure. It's not real pressure. It would be purely from his own perspective. But I hope that doesn't happen. But I wonder if he ever gets to that point where it's like, oh no, I need to break a world record for everyone to be happy or enjoy it.
And in the meantime, World Athletics must be seriously looking at their remuneration strategy and wondering what on earth they did. How stupid. How much money? 14 times 100,000. That's $1.4 million. Seriously?
Yeah, what a legend. So good. I love it so, so much. And I'm sure they're going to write something into the rule books that he can't do it anymore.
He must be one of the most highly played athletes in athletics at the moment.
Love it.
What a legend. Well, way to play the game.
Yes, we love you. Well done, Duplantis. We'll be watching.
Libby, seeing as you've brought back two quick things, which, I mean, it's just cracking me up every time, I need to drop in two quick things this week. If you would give me the space to do that.
Yes. Can I also have just one quick thing, though, after you do two quick things?
I don't know if three quick things has the same vibe. I'll go with it.
It doesn't.
For those following along with curling, now, a couple of months ago, we spoke to Tali Gill, who is part of the mixed doubles curling team in Australia, about what they've been doing and how they're going in the lead up to Italy 2026. I now need to give you another update on curling. The Australian women's curling team, skippered by Helen Williams, this week made history by becoming the first Australian women's curling team to qualify for the World Women's Curling Championships.
Wow.
At an event held in Aberdeen this week, the team clinched one of the last available spots by defeating Hungary, which, can we just point out how significant this is, given that we have no dedicated ice in Australia for curling at all. The team is now going on to compete in Kelowna in Canada in December this year. That's when they have a final chance to qualify for one of the two remaining places for the Olympics in February next year. So well done, girls. We have no doubt that isn't what a massive achievement that is for your sport to have done it without the facilities, to be a team that's based in Perth and in Melbourne, to have done your national trials in New Zealand. This is no small feat, and you've got everything up against you to do it.
All the sporties are behind them. Let's get it done, ladies.
And I know they really appreciate the support. So go check them out, give them a high five for their performance and follow along with their incredible story.
Amazing.
My next quick thing is that this week, Team Australia achieved a historic first win when they won an international crown for golf.
Wow.
So you would have seen some footage featuring Minjee, Lee, Hannah Green, Grace Kim and Steph Kirikou, who staged an epic comeback and defeated many stellar teams on their way through to the playoffs and have now secured the crown. This is historic and a first, and well done to the women who are absolutely dominating on these international stages.
Amazing, incredible. And my quick thing, and it continues the theme of unbelievable female athletes, but it would be remiss of me not to mention all of the incredible world records that the swimmers have been breaking over the last couple of weeks.
So when we were planning this episode, I did wonder at what point you would pop some swimming in.
The penny dropped that I remembered that I wanted to talk about this during two quick things, which is why we have now a third quick thing. This is where my brain is at, and I thank you all for coming on this journey with me. But Kaylee McEwen, Molly O'Callaghan and Lani Pallister over the last few weeks have all broken world records in their respective short course events. So Molly O'Callaghan actually broke the 200 metres freestyle world record twice.
Wow.
Kaylee McEwen has broken the 200 metres backstroke world record. And Lani Pallister broke her very first world record for the 800 metres freestyle short course. And it's just... everybody knows I'm particularly biased to swimming, and I get that, and it's probably annoying at times. But what these women are doing at the highest level and continue to raise that bar and push the boundaries of what they are physically capable of and what we have thought people are capable of in the pool is just mind-blowing. And these are the reasons your two first quick things with curling and golf is just unbelievable. And these women pushing those boundaries, I just love sport. I bloody love it. And it's inspiring and motivating. And I'm so, when you see these, all of these stories lined up together, how proud we are in Australia to have such incredible athletes just absolutely dominating I feel very proud.
Look, Libby, you took it to 3 quick things and I'm taking it to 4, which means I think we actually have to relabel the segment to entirely quick things. But it would be remiss of me.
I love that you've been reminded of something as well.
Yeah, well, we could all play this game, all right? It's not just unique to you. And your little brain moment reminded me also that we have to talk, and it would be remiss of me not to talk about Alana King, who is a spin bowler for the Australian women's cricket team, who are currently on the subcontinent playing World Cup cricket. It's one-day internationals. Alana King scored 7 wickets for 18 runs. She took 7 wickets for 18 runs. That's the best bowling figures for any female ever in a World Cup performance. And it's utterly incredible what the Australian team are doing over there. They've gone into the finals now at the top, having not lost a game at this stage and just performing incredibly as a team. So well done to Alana King.
Just more women doing more amazing things.
Rocking the world. So, Libby, while we're just renovating the workings of your brain, and
very pointed.
Some may say that was a bit of a low blow, and I apologise.
But also funny.
While we're excavating what's going on in your brain, still no good?
It's so funny because you have to laugh or you'll cry. But yes, go on.
In amongst lots of other news that surfaced last week, Ariarne Titmus retired from professional swimming.
Yes.
And I need to know from you, did you see this coming? What are your thoughts? What's next for Arnie?
Obviously, for most people, I don't think we saw it coming. However, I have loved the way that she's kind of navigated post-Paris. She took that year off. She took the time to try and this is all that I could have ever wanted in what an athlete.
For yourself?
For me, obviously, it comes back to me. But like I wish that I had done that genuinely. Like what she did, she took 12 months. She's only said that she's taking 12 months off. You know, there was no kind of commitment either way, whether she would retire or come back. She mentioned that she likes the idea of going to LA, but, you know, wasn't locking into anything. She's had 12 months off. She tried loads of different things. She's done television and sports commentary, swimming commentary. She's really clearly taken the time to work out what is of value to her. She fully understands what it takes to get to that level of performance. And what she has realized is that she's not willing to do that anymore. Because that's literally what you have to do, right? Like there is so much that goes into being an elite athlete to get to the highest level, to try and go for world records and gold medals and all of that stuff. There's so much sacrifice and so many things that you have to navigate and go through. And it's a very, very simple life. I miss it significantly after 5 children. It's so simple and targeted.
Could I just
focused.
swim up a black line, please?
Oh, just straight up and down. But at the same time, there is so much sacrifice. There's so many things that you miss out on. And she's obviously not willing to do that because she has other things that are more important now. And what is incredible, because she is only 25, like that is super young. I say at the ripe old age of 40. It's super young, but she clearly has a different path that she wants to try. And you know, she's talked about a health scare that she had before Paris to do with, I think it was a tumor on her ovary. And, you know, these things that has been concerned about and recognizing what she wants in the future. And for me, I mean, she was an absolute role model as an athlete. Like I couldn't have thought of anyone better to be a role model for my kids in terms of like her work ethic, how much she's dedicated, her whole family dedicated this dream of Arnie's, you know, by moving up from Tasmania to Queensland, like unbelievable. But what for me is even more powerful as a role model is the way that she has navigated this kind of transition. And not to say that it's not going to be complicated and difficult at times, but like what an incredible role model for how to make that transition and how to make that decision of whether to retire and to do it on your own terms. I just bloody love it.
Yeah, I think what really hit home for me is when she articulated that to work with Dean and to work in their sort of their manner of working, their style of working requires a certain level of intensity. And she just said, and I don't think I can do that anymore. And I did think what an incredible experience to have had the opportunity to step back and then to think about, can I ramp back up and get to that level? And for her to go, it's now not worth it anymore. It's not a snap decision. It's not a ill thought out decision. It's actually one of the best, I guess, not that it's a competition, but I know you athletes will think in that way, but it's one of the best sort of ways I've seen retirement done in ages where
No, I couldn't agree more. And I love that she has such a value in her as a human, because so often, and you know, I absolutely put myself in this category, so often it's more is more golds means better. And
yeah.
You know, she's not.
Yes.
She doesn't need that. Like she doesn't need that for her self-worth, for her value. She has seen what she's done. She's obviously, I hope she's very proud of what she's achieved. And she doesn't need more gold medals to prove that she is one of the best that Australia's ever seen. She knows it. We all know it. And, you know, again, we're just so proud of her as an athlete, but I think more so as a human being.
Lib, it's been a while since we've had a documentary chat and I'm bringing it back. I'm excited.
Yes, I've missed it.
So I need to let you know that Australian Story is having just a red hot time with sports stories at the moment. So if you go into ABC iView, you will find so many incredible sport-based stories. For example, Jelena Dokic was recently interviewed by Lee Sales. It was like an in-person conversation event, a live event that was recorded for Australian Story. That is such a good conversation. We spoke about Unbreakable earlier in the year and what an incredible movie that was, or documentary, all about Jelena Dokic's experience in tennis. This is a conversation that goes into that and it explores that with her. I highly recommend. On there, you'll also find a conversation about ray gun and what it reflected on us as an Australian society, like what it was in our psychology that we reacted the way we did. Interview with Ange Postecoglou after he was sacked by his team. And that's really interesting given that he's also just been sacked by another team. Poor Ange Postecoglou can't catch a break at the moment for such a great coach. There's heaps of great stories. Saya Saki, you can say it for me.
Saya Sakakibara
is last week's episode. Go and check out Australian Story. You'll find lots to entertain you there. But while you're on ABC iView, I highly recommend that you go and check out a 3-part documentary that's been put together by Tony Armstrong called Endgame. And it's all about the issue of racism in sport. I mean, importantly, this is not a conversation we have very often. I think it's fabulous that it's a conversation that's being led by a First Nations member of our community and at great personal cost. So as always, when our athletes and when our community members sort of lead the charge when it comes to racism, that has an incredible toll on them and puts them up in the public spotlight to sadly attract more racist commentary. And I think we're very privileged in this country to have individuals who step forward and stand up for racism. It's a really interesting documentary. It gave me a different sense to any other documentary I'd seen because I truly felt like Tony was trying to work things out as he went along. So it was very much him exploring what racism looks like in Australia and why it looks like that, but him also going to the US and to the UK and to the Cayman Islands and talking to politicians, talking to legislators, talking to researchers, talking to athletes about what they've done to combat racism. It does come back to the idea that there has to be some really strong legislative changes in Australia to help clubs and organisations to put them in a position where they can really strongly manage what's happening to their players and to give them the tools and to give a RE Safety Commissioner the tools to be able to manage particularly what's happening in social media, and to see that laid out so clearly and the opportunity to now go and lobby government to make those changes, which has been in front of government for a while now without any sort of adoption. I think that's a really powerful thing. For me, I learned a lot from watching that documentary, and it made me think there's a lot that we can do in the work that you and I do, Libby, that there's work that we need to do down at club levels to improve sport for all Australians and to make all Australians feel like it's a safe place for them to be involved.
I haven't seen the documentary yet, but we were texting about it, and you saying that he felt like he was kind of learning about it at the same time. I really love those kinds of documentaries where it feels like it's uncovering stuff for the person who's hosting it. I think, as we spoke about earlier, seeing people performing at the highest level is just so inspiring and motivating. But to see someone kind of wanting to put words, I guess, around an issue that we're seeing in sport, and then not just leaving it there, but actually taking action to try and create change, I just find so inspiring and so absolutely incredible. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it's a highly recommend. The first episode you might be a bit disoriented because it is a different style, but I would highly recommend that you persevere because the conversations that Tony has and the different insights that he gets through the experience, it's just so incredibly useful for those to be shared more widely. You can go and check it out on ABC iView.
Can't wait.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Sportish. We've loved being in your ears. You can catch us again next Wednesday on all your favourite podcast apps. And in the meantime, go and check us out on our Instagram account at Being Sportish. And if you've got things that you think we should be watching, articles of interest, please flick them through. We also love kids' sports questions. We will find the experts to provide the answers as always. And we look forward to speaking to you next week. See you then.
Bye.